Good morning. I'm Steve Flaherty, Superintendent of Virginia State Police. I appreciate you being here at this spot on this day to talk about what happened here last night. But before I begin, I want to say thank you for the tremendous outpouring of support from our sister agencies around this greater Richmond area. Our federal partners, the FBI, ATF, the Marshal Service, and certainly Chief Durham and the men and women of the Richmond PD, that this has been just a joint effort of solidarity among our two agencies, and the incredible work that took place. The Hanover Sheriff's Department and DEA and Henrico Police Department all pitched in as we worked this case over the last few hours. So I thank you all for your valiant support in what was a very violent situation after a very violent criminal. And the state police thanks the public for your support and for your tips and all the information that you shared across the way as we were working and searching for this shooting suspect. We're also grateful for the outpouring of sympathy for Michael and his family. It has been incredible during this very difficult time. Michael is the 63rd member of the Virginia State Police to be killed in the line of duty since 1928. He is the 11th in the last 11 years. He died this morning shortly after 5 o'clock a.m. Special Agent Michael T. Walter was 45 years old. He was an 18-year veteran of the Virginia State Police. He was a resident of Powhatan County, and he leaves a wife, Jamie Walter, a son, Austin, who's 14, a son, Mason, who's 9, and a daughter, Addie, who's 6. 2 sons and a daughter. He was born in Philadelphia. He served his country very proudly as a member of the United States Marine Corps. From 1989 to 1994, he was a Marine. He defended us all. Then he came to the Metro Richmond area. He first worked at VCU Medical Center as an officer, a security officer, and then for 2 years he was a member of the Virginia Capitol Police Department. He entered the Virginia State Police Academy in 1998, and he graduated 18 years and 6 days ago as a member of the 98th basic session of the Virginia State Police Academy. His first patrol assignment after graduation was in Springfield, Virginia, Fairfax County, what we call our Area 48 office. He transferred to Richmond to our Chesterfield and Powhatan office in 2005, and he later joined the State Police Academy staff as a K-9 instructor. In 2010, he was promoted to the rank of Special Agent and has been assigned ever since to our Bureau of Criminal Investigation Richmond Field Office Drug Enforcement Section. Mike was well known throughout Powhatan County, not only for his passion for criminal justice and his passion for public safety and his passion for public service, but he was also known for his commitment to bettering the lives of the local youth. And we saw a great outpouring from those folks last night who came to the hospital to be with the family. He founded and ran a nonprofit organization in Powhatan Youth Wrestling and Community Development Corporation through Black Hawk Gym. He and Jamie built that from the ground up, but it wasn't about profit. It wasn't about profit for him. It was all about making a difference to disadvantaged youth, mentoring them and fostering them and fostering their talents through physical fitness and sportsmanship. A lot of what he was doing here last night, here for this community as well. He was shot doing an encounter here last night, right here in Mosby Court, right in front of us. His shooter, Travis Aaron Ball, 27 years of age, of Richmond, was taken into custody this morning by the state police and U.S. Marshals at a residence in Heathsville in Northumberland County. He was taken into custody without incident. He's been brought back to Richmond for questioning in this investigation and into this shooting last night, and that still continues. He's being held on 1 count of malicious wounding, use of a firearm in commission of a felony, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and additional charges are still pending. Ball fired 1 shot at Special Agent Michael Walter last night. The Richmond officer who was with Mike right here riding, fortunately, was not injured. And I will tell you that there's no one else that Special Agent Mike Walter had rather been with than the Richmond officer he was with last night. They were extremely close and had worked together for quite a time. And we thank that Richmond officer for his immediate response and the aid that he rendered right here. It meant so much to all of us. And I know that he's having a very rough time too, and our heart goes out to him. It's a difficult time for the Virginia State Police family. It's a difficult time for the Richmond law enforcement family. It's a difficult time for the Walter family. And I hope that you'll keep them all in your thoughts and prayers. There's quite a bit of work that's been done. It's incredible that less than 12 hours from the time this event took place and Mr. Ball was arrested in Northumberland County. It was a huge effort, manpower, nobody held back. Everybody brought everything they could to bear to make this a reality, make this arrest a reality, and protect all of these communities. Because that's what Mike and the Richmond police officer with him and all of these people, all these police officers you see here and many beyond are all about, is doing something to make a difference right here in this community. And that's what they were trying to do last night. So thank you, and we may be able to take a few questions. Al, do you want to say anything?
Well, first of all, again, I want to offer our condolences to the trooper, his family, and to the Virginia State Police family. Here we are once again in Mosby Court. You know, every time we do a press conference, it's not anything about anything positive. Well, today we're going to try to do something that's impossible, and that's to build relationships and have a greater presence here in this community. Today we're going to have a continued joint patrols between the Virginia State Police and the Richmond Police Department. This is about building relationships. We want the residents in this community to come out and engage the officers. If you have information about something bad that's going on in your community, we want to hear from you. We can no longer expect police to take ownership of the problems that's happening, especially in this community. As I stated yesterday, there have been 6 homicides in this community alone and 19 individuals shot. That's unacceptable by any standard. And again, we're asking for the communities, the residents here, their support, and you have to be willing, the residents, to impact change. Be the change that you want to see. Nobody should be able to come in here and wreak havoc as such to have somebody lose their life. Mike made the ultimate sacrifice on yesterday. When Mike suited up and came to work, left his family, would have never thought that he would not be going home, that we would be making a notification to the next of kin. I can't even begin to imagine what that is like. But at some point, we have to get it together as a people, as a community, as a city, and say we're not going to tolerate this no more. But again, I want to thank everybody for their support, the phone calls, especially those who gave tips. A lot of folks say people don't talk. People talk. You know why? They're fed up, and you should be too. So again, on behalf of the police department, Steve, Kurt, our condolences. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions? We'll try to address those as we can. Obviously, it's still an ongoing investigation, so we may not have a lot we can release at this time.
Can you tell us what kind of tips you received that led you to the suspect?
No, other than the fact that we did receive a number of tips, came through the Crime Stoppers line as well into our different dispatches, and it's really been a very much coordinated and collaborative effort. We were very fortunate to have as many law enforcement out here. I think a lot of people saw that in the pictures and the video. You know, we had a number of folks from federal, state, and local from across the Central Virginia region. Of course, we appreciate all of that, but we can't get into these specifics.
Why was the suspect here in Mosby Court?
I'm not really certain at this point. That'll be part of the investigation. Yes, he actually does live within this 1900 block, is his address. So yes, he is a resident right here in Mosby Court.
Can you tell us what, if anything, was said between Paul and Walter before the shooting?
That's all part of the investigation. It happened very quickly, almost within minutes of them even starting the conversation.
Any explanation why he shot Special Agent Walter?
Obviously, we're still in the process of conducting those interviews with him. You know, we was just apprehended shortly after 6 o'clock this morning, so the interviews are still ongoing at this time.
How has the driver of the car been? Has he worked with you guys? Give you any insight into what might have happened?
We have, of course, you know, he was detained last night. He did not flee the scene. He stayed at the scene, was taken into custody by Richmond Police, and of course that's all part of the ongoing investigation.
How do you believe the suspect got to the Northern Neck area?
Well, that's part of our investigation and looking into, obviously, he fled on foot as soon as the shot was heard. He was seen fleeing the scene. And obviously, immediately a perimeter was set up in this vicinity for the safety of the residents, for the protection of the crime scene, and obviously to set up that search perimeter. And throughout the night, the federal, local, and state law enforcement did not stop in their search efforts. And it was based on tips coming in. Good investigative work. A number of search warrants were executed within the region, and fortunately they were able to locate him and apprehend him without further incident.
So do you all believe someone else helped him out?
We're not going to comment at this time on that.
Was he found with a gun or with a weapon? Was he armed when the suspect was found?
We're not going to comment on that at this point.
What is Mr. Ball's connection to the Northern Mexico? Does he have any ties, family ties? or
I
friends?
personally, I don't know that, but obviously, based on information we received, we were able to locate him up there in Northumberland County.
Did he surrender without any problems?
He was taken into custody without further incident.
Was he known to law enforcement? Have they had interactions with him in the past?
I can't comment on criminal history, so.
I apologize if you covered this before. What was the last time there was a trooper fatally shot in Virginia?
March 31st.
March 31st of 2016, that was Trooper Chad Diermeyer, who was shot at the bus terminal on the
And
boulevard.
to follow up on that, Virginia State Police just honored him earlier this month. It's just been a little over a year since Trooper Chad Diermeyer has passed. How is this impacting not only state police, the law enforcement, and the community right now with everything going on?
We're family. And like any family, these sorts of losses are incredibly tragic to us, and they have a significant impact. But I will tell you that it's made our resolve even stronger to be here and to make an impression here and to do something here in Mosby Court and beyond. So it's strengthened us in so many ways, as tragic as it is. You mentioned Chad. Chad's wife, Michelle, and I talked last night, and she certainly had been a grand help and as we worked with Michael's family last night. So she's been involved with us as well. So it's strengthened us, but it's certainly we're saddened over.
We'll continue to follow up with you all, and we're putting together a press release on the bio as well as a photograph. We'll make that available hopefully within the next 30 minutes or so for you. Okay?
When will we get a picture of the mugshot of the suspect?
I'm not sure. We'll look into that as to when he's actually had. I don't know if he's had the picture taken yet at this point. So, but we'll let you know that as well. Okay? All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.